The year was 1908. A physician named Kurt Goldstein was observing a young soldier. The man had suffered a severe brain injury in the line of duty. He seemed outwardly stable. His conversation was clear. His mind was sharp, but his left hand was a betrayer. It had a mind of its own. As the soldier talked, his left hand would drift. It would fidget with his clothes. It would try to untie his bandages. It moved without his command, without his permission. This was the first documented case. The terrifying beginning of a medical mystery. This was the birth of alien hand syndrome. Imagine waking up every day. You're fully conscious. You're fully awake. But one part of your body has declared war on the rest of you. It moves on its own. It acts with purpose, sometimes with malicious purpose. It might button your shirt, then furiously unbutton it. It might pick up a utensil, then stab a piece of fruit across the room. You watch it happen. You feel the movements, but you did not send the signal. The command never left your conscious mind. Your hand is now an enemy, a separate entity, a five-fingered monster attached to your shoulder. Our story begins in 1981. Meet Dorothy. She was a kind, active grandmother living in California. Her life was quiet and focused on her family. She had recently undergone a medical procedure. She had surgery to control her severe epilepsy. This surgery involved a complex, deep operation. Doctors had to cut the massive bundle of nerve fibers connecting the two halves of her brain. This bundle is called the corpus callosum. This procedure, a callosotomy, was performed to stop seizures from spreading. It saved her life, but it also unleashed a terror. The recovery was slow, but Dorothy's seizures stopped. The doctors were cautiously optimistic. Then, the strange thing started. Small, unsettling events at first. Dorothy would be watching television. Her left hand would suddenly reach out. It would grab the remote control. It would rapidly change the channel. She would grasp it with her right hand. She would try to hold it down. The left hand would struggle against the right. It was a silent, intense tug of war. Dorothy was confused. She felt the muscle tension, but she was not initiating the action. The movements escalated quickly. The left hand started to interfere with daily activities. Dorothy would try to put on a jacket. The left hand would pull the jacket off her right arm. She would try to pour a cup of tea. The left hand would grab the kettle. It would pour the hot liquid onto the table. It seemed to actively sabotage her conscious efforts. It was a constant, frustrating battle against her own anatomy. She tried to hide it. She felt immense shame. She felt like she was going insane. The hand soon developed a personality. Not a human personality, but a distinct behavioral pattern. It was often clumsy. It was often oppositional. It frequently performed actions with a clear goal. But that goal was unknown to Dorothy. She would place an object down with her right hand. The left hand would pick it up instantly. It would hide it. It would perform what doctors later called intermanual conflict, one hand acting in direct opposition to the other. This internal war started to frighten Dorothy profoundly. She began to sleep with her left arm restrained. She would pin it under a heavy blanket. She would tie it lightly to the bedpost. She needed control. She needed safety. But even restrained, the hand would strain against its bonds. It was a physical manifestation of a psychological horror. The idea that a part of yourself is no longer yours, that it harbors its own intentions. The climax of Dorothy's terror arrived one cold evening. She was dozing in her favorite armchair. Her left hand lay resting in her lap. She felt a movement, slow, deliberate. Her left hand rose from her lap. The fingers curled with unexpected strength. Before she could react, the hand clamped down. It locked on her throat. The pressure was intense. It was trying to choke her. Dorothy gasped. She was instantly awake. She panicked. Her conscious mind screamed. She used her good hand, the right one, to fight back. She clawed at the alien hand. She tried to pry the strong fingers away from her neck. It was a struggle for life against her own flesh. Her right hand was fighting her left hand. A desperate, terrifying internal civil war. Finally, with a surge of adrenaline, she broke the grip. The left hand fell back, limp and still. Just for a moment, Dorothy rushed to her doctor the next morning. She told him, in hushed tones, that her hand had tried to murder her. Dr. Richard Sloan, the neurologist, was initially skeptical, But Dorothy's terror was real. He reviewed her surgical history. He examined her again. He tested her motor control. Her right side was perfect. Her left side was the problem. The hand would grab a hammer, but if he asked her to drop it, she could not. It would be stuck in a grasping position. Then, without warning, it would strike the table. It was automatic. It was involuntary. It was commanded by a different part of the brain, a part severed from the consciousness. The investigation into alien hand syndrome had already begun decades ago, but it was Dorothy's dramatic case that brought it into the spotlight. Doctors realized the connection. The common thread was damage to the corpus callosum. This structure is a massive bridge. It contains about 200 million nerve fibers. It allows the two hemispheres of the brain to talk to each other, to share information, and, crucially, to coordinate motor control. The brain's hemispheres are specialized. The right hemisphere controls the left side of the body. The left hemisphere controls the right side. The corpus callosum makes sure these two command centers work together. Imagine an orchestra conductor. If you cut the link, the conductor is gone. The two orchestras play separate, conflicting melodies. The two hands receive separate, conflicting commands. In Dorothy's case, the surgery was necessary. Cutting the corpus callosum stopped the epileptic electrical storm from jumping across the brain. But it also isolated the right hemisphere. The right side of her brain, which controls the troublesome left hand, was acting autonomously. It was executing simple, reflexive motor programs. It had the motor skill. It had the intent to grasp or act, but it lacked the connection to the conscious, verbal, decision-making left hemisphere. The hand was moving with intent, but that intent was primal, not malicious. It was automatic, like a reflex, but much more complex than a simple knee-jerk. Other causes of alien hand syndrome have since been identified: strokes, tumors, neurodegenerative diseases, all of which cause focal damage to specific brain areas. These areas include the supplementary motor area or the anterior cingulate cortex. These areas are crucial for planning and initiating voluntary movements. When these areas are damaged, the motor system runs wild. It generates movements without the necessary inhibitory filter. The filter that tells the hand, don't do that. For Dorothy, understanding the science did not immediately stop the fear. How do you live with a limb that is trying to harm you? She became a pioneer. She helped doctors understand the subtle nuances of the syndrome. She learned coping mechanisms. The most effective was simple physical restraint. She wore a sling often. She used a small walking cane to pin her left arm against her side. Some patients find success by giving the hand a job. Distraction is key. Give the alien hand a ball to squeeze. Give it a piece of clay to mold. Keep it busy. Keep it contained. The most profound realization from these cases is the nature of consciousness itself. Where does I reside? We assume we control our bodies. But alien hand syndrome proves this control is fragile. It shows that motor intention is a separate process from conscious awareness. The hand acts, then the conscious mind registers the action. Too late. The syndrome is rare, but its implications are huge for neuroscience. It helps us map the geography of free will. It suggests that many of our actions are executed by the brain's automatic centers. The SMA decides to pick up the cup. The ACC decides to initiate the movement. Only milliseconds later does our conscious mind agree. Yes, I picked up the cup. In alien hand syndrome, the initial command is sent, but the conscious I is locked out of the loop. Dorothy learned to live with her hostile appendage. Her story became a medical textbook case. The hand never truly stopped its mischief, but the terror lessened with understanding. The chilling reality remains. The hand that tried to choke her was not controlled by an evil spirit. It was controlled by her own brain, a beautiful, complex organ that, when physically separated, revealed a terrifying secret. Our sense of self-control is an illusion, an elegant, necessary connection that can be broken by a single surgical cut. The mystery is solved. The hand's intent was not murder. It was simply action without permission. The corpus callosum was the gatekeeper. Once the gate was gone, the raw impulses of the right brain were unleashed. The case of the hand that tried to choke its owner serves as a grim warning. It shows how deeply our conscious identity is tied to the physical connectivity of our brains. We are one unit until we are not, and when the parts turn on the whole, the result is a horror movie written in neurology.